Hi, Prabhu here. Today we will see about how to create transparency map in Photoshop and utilize in Maya 2017 using ARNOLD. The final output is look like this. I hope you like it. Stay tuned. Okay, before we get into the actual project, we need to set the project folder. It's really important because we are not only do modeling. After that, we want to make a texture file in Photoshop. So you definitely want to set the project. Go to file and choose project window. So I will choose my new project as transparency. Transparency map. So I will choose my default location as D drive. You choose whatever you want. So and click accept. So now we want to make a simple model over here. So go to create panel, polygon primitives, disable the interactive creation. So that means when we click on polyplane, it will automatically created in center of grid. So I will scale big. I didn't want any divisions for this polyplane, so I will expand this one. So I will give subdivision width and height to 1. So now I scale big. So now go to polygons and click on poly cylinder. So then you need to scale big. So I will give up to 60 divisions. So because I did not use any mesh smooth or 3 smooth, so I will give subdivision as 60. So and press R and scale big. Go to front view. I will scale like this and move this object above the grid. So like this. Now go to perspective. Now double click. Before that I want to rename this object, so it's really important. Go to window and choose outliner. So I will select my polyplane as ground and select my this one is an base 01. So now I select my base object and press Ctrl D to duplicate. I will move up. So this one is the mid 01. So this is a mid object and press R and scale big. So like this. So I will scale a little bit down. So it's enough and move down. So now press R and scale little bit in mid and press W. I want to move a little bit in down. So I will select this object and click on isolate select. So select this mid object and click on isolate select. So I didn't want any top portion and bottom faces. So right click and choose vertex. So select this vertex and shift select this vertex. So select this top and bottom vertex on mid. Press Ctrl F11 in keyboard. So that means the vertex will be converted as a face. So like this and press delete in keyboard. So that means it will hollow. So right click and choose object mode. Now re-isolate this one. So now select this object and click on isolate select. Now I want to give little bit of bevel for this object. Right click and choose, double click on this edge and shift double click on this edge. Shift right click and choose bevel edge. So give bevel fraction to 0.05 like this or 0.1 and give segment to 2. So right click and choose object mode. So now I re-isolate this one. So now we want to make a top object. So go to polygons and click on polypipe and press W. I want to move in up. Go to top view and go to shading and choose wireframe on shaded. So that means you will able to see our wireframe. So and press R and scale big, or go to polypipe inputs and increase the radius, so like this, and also reduce the thickness to 0.2, so like this, and I want to reduce the radius of 3.9 or something, so go to perspective, so like this, and press R and scale down, so like this. Now I want to increase my subdivision to 60, so I isolate this object and right click and select all the edge loops and shift right click and choose bevel edge and view fraction to 0.1 or 0.2, so and view segments to 2, so right click and choose object mode, so I re-isolate this object. So now I want to scale this ground little bit big, so this is a top object, so I will select this one and go to outliner and rename as top 01. So now we want to make some object inside of this pen stand, so I want to create a simple cylinder and move in up and press R and scale big. So go to front view, press 4 in keyboard. So this is for only reference, so I will make a simple model, so I did not do in detail. If you want a real pen, you will model this one. So because we are really focusing on transparency map on this project, so go to perspective and press 5 in keyboard. So I want to select this object and move a little bit down to cover the top area, so like this. So now we need to, I will increase my polycylinder divisions to 60, so and rename this as reference pen 01, so like this. So now we complete our model. Now we need to unwrap this one. Okay, before that we need to set our camera view. It's really important, so click spacebar in keyboard. So I will close my outliner for now. So here I need to set my camera view, so I will drag this over here, so that means you got only 2 viewports. So go to rendering and click on create cam, so it will automatically create it in center of grid. Go to panels, perspective and choose camera 1. So I need to adjust my camera to fix wherever you want. So and then here we need to set 2 things. Go to view camera settings and choose overscan, view camera settings and choose resolution gate. So I will zoom in a little bit to focus our object. So I will select my ground plane and scale big even, so because we do not show this edge of our ground, so I will scale big. So now we need to start lighting, so I will lock my camera. So click on lock cam over here, so it's new in Maya 2017. So if you click on this one, you cannot able to move this camera view. So open your Arnold render view. In default it will be render our perspective shape, but I need to render my camera, so you click on this one and choose camera shape 1. So now we need to set our light. Go to rendering and click on area light, so it will automatically create a center of grid and scale big, and press E and rotate like this. So you need to keep the area light behind our object, so I will press W, I will move in Z and in Y, so like this, and press E and rotate in X. So see here, our camera is here, but our light is behind our object. So like this. Now when the area light selected, go to attribute editor. So in area light I will expand my ARNOLD tab. Here you need to increase our exposure, so I will increase up to 8 or 6 or 7 or 10, so 15. So it's too much, so I will give 12 or 13. So 13 is enough. So now you able to see our object will be visible in our camera view. So also in render. Now we need to make some material for this objects. So I will select my pin object, right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So and rename as reference underscore pin, so underscore AI standard. So I want to choose color whatever you want, so I will choose dark red. So I want some reflection, so I will increase my specularity so to some 0.2, so and reduce my roughness little bit. So now I select my top object, so this is on top, so I will select my top object, right click, so on top object and bottom object. So select the top object and shift select the bottom object, right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So these two objects are in same color, so I will choose almost dark black, so and give little bit of specular weight to 0.2 something, so and give roughness to 0.3 something. So now we need to make an texture file for this object, so we need to unwrap this object. So I will select this object, go to UV and choose UV editor. So now right click and choose UV, so I will select this whole object, shift right click and choose unfold, so it will be unfold and press E and rotate, it will be straight, and press R and scale big, so like this, and press W. So you need to keep the UV exactly in this white region, so when we take snapshot it will only takes this white region, so don't keep away. So I will keep this inside of this white region. So when the UV selected, go to polygons and choose UV snapshot, so you give at least 1024 pixels of X and Y and choose in your destination folder in images. So this is an mid underscore UV, so mid section UV, and click save and choose your color to red and click on keep aspect ratio and image format to PNG and click OK. So it will be saved in our destination folder. Now you open your Photoshop. Okay, now you open our saved file, so go to file and choose open, go to your destination folder in images, open our saved UV. So I will click on this one and click open. So when the layer 0 selected and click on this lock button, so that means you cannot able to move this wireframe. So select the layer 0 and click on create new layer, so it will create new layer. So when the layer 1 selected, you need to drag all the way to down. So when the layer 1 selected, you need to fill and choose paint bucket tool and choose pure black and fill over here. So when the layer 1 selected and click on lock button, so now create new layer, so that means layer 2, take an rectangular marquee tool and choose new selection and choose feather to 0 pixels. I will press Ctrl+ in keyboard, so that means it will zoom in a little bit. So I want to draw like this very tiny bit of rectangle over here. So I will choose my gradient tool and click on over here and choose tricolor gradient. So that means it contains 3 colors. So tricolor, and click on this color. So that means you got gradient editor. So double click on this color and choose an 60% of gray. So double click on this color and choose 60% of gray, and double click on this color and choose an white and click OK. So now press Ctrl plus in keyboard, so that means it will zoom in. So I will move over here. So select the gradient tool and choose linear gradient. Now press shift in keyboard. You want click and drag like this, so that means you got fill like a cylinder shape. Now press Ctrl D in keyboard, so that means it will deselect our object. Now press Ctrl minus. So I plus Ctrl T to transform. So I will scale a little bit big. So press Ctrl plus in keyboard. So I will zoom in. So I will scale a little bit height and also down like this and press enter. So now I want to make sure duplicate this one. So when the layer 0 selected, take move tool, press Ctrl J, so that means it will duplicate. Now press Ctrl T. When the duplicate layer selected, press Ctrl T, use shift and right keyboard arrow, so that means it will move little bit further. Now press enter in keyboard. So now I want to repeat this step again and again. Press Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift, all 3 keys in keyboard, and press T. So Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift plus T. So that means it will repeat the step again and again. So like this. So I will make sure duplicate much more. So like this. So I want to take little bit further because I want to rotate this one. So I will take much more duplicate. So when the last duplicate layer selected, and shift select this layer 2 and press Ctrl E in keyboard, so that means it will merge this layer. So this is, I will rename as wire. So now press Ctrl T in keyboard. I want to rotate little bit like this. So like this. Now press enter in keyboard. So now you able to see over here. So now I want to take an rectangular marquee tool. So I will select up to this wireframe. So not be exact. So I will choose little bit further. So now you delete, means it will delete our inside part. So I want to delete my outside part. So I will undo this one. So press Ctrl plus Shift plus I. So that means leave inside and it will select our outside, and press delete in keyboard. So that means it will gone, and press Ctrl D to deselect. So now we need to save and 2 file. So first thing is color map, another thing is an transparency map. So now I hide this layer 0. So now it will hide our wireframe. So now go to file and choose save as. In your images folder, I want to save this as mid_CLR as a Photoshop file, because in future we need to adjust, means you need an Photoshop file. So I will save in our destination folder images as a mid color, format as Photoshop, and click save and click OK. Now you need to save as an Targa file for our Maya. Go to file and choose save as. Go to your source images and save as mid_color as a Targa, and click save and choose 24 bit per pixel and click OK. Now we need to save as an transparency map. Before that, we need to give an full white color for this transparency. Press Ctrl and click on this wire thumbnail. Hold the Ctrl in keyboard and click on this wire thumbnail. So that means it will convert as a selection. Create new layer. In layer 2, take an paint bucket tool and choose an pure white color. So that means all thing as F, and click OK. So and fill over here. So now press Ctrl D to deselect. So that means it will fill with pure white. So now I want to save this file as an transparency map. So go to file and choose save as. So first of all, you need to save as Photoshop file mid_trans and click save. Now you need to save as an Targa file. Go to file and choose save as. Go to your source images as an mid_trans as Targa and click save and click OK. So now you need to open your Maya. Okay, so now I will close my UV editor. So right click and choose object mode. When the object selected, so mid object selected, right click and choose assign new material and choose ARNOLD AI standard. So I will open my ARNOLD render view. So I will rename my material as mid_AI standard. So in diffuse you need to apply an color map. So over here, so click on this diffuse color checker. So and go to file and filter type to off and click on this folder and choose your mid_color.tga and click open. So now you able to see our color map is applied to this object. So over here. Okay, now we need to apply and transparency map for this object. So I will select this object again, go to mid_AI standard. So go scroll down all the way, so and expand this refraction tab. In opacity, click on this checker button and go to file and choose filter type to off and click on this image name and choose mid_trans.tga and click open. Okay, now you see we apply some transparency map, but still it will not see through the inside object. So I will keep this image for comparison. So click on store snapshot. So that means it will store our snapshot. So after you apply an transparency map for this opacity, so click on this object and go to mid shape 1. So now you expand this ARNOLD and uncheck this opaque. So now you able to see through our inside object. So because we need to uncheck this opaque option, also we need to apply an transparency map in our opacity. So this is the way to apply an transparency map. So now we need to make a final touch for our object. So I need to apply and some wood texture for this ground. So I will minimize my ARNOLD render view. So I will go to UV. So select the ground, go to UV and choose UV editor. So right click and choose UV editor. So I will unfold this one. So now right click on our ground object and choose assign new material and choose ARNOLD AI standard. So I need to apply an wood texture. So for this color, so I will click on this checker and go to file. So before that I will have some wood texture, it download from internet. So I will copy this file and paste in my destination folder. So over here, so go to my destination folder, so transparency map. So here I need to paste in my destination folder, so as a wood texture. So I will select this one and click open. So that means it got wooden floor over here. So I will select my floor. I will rename this as ground underscore AI standard. I also increase little bit of specular weight, so little bit. So and also I will reduce my roughness to 0.2, so like this. So now you able to see our object. So now I close my Arnold render view and go to render settings. I will set my final file as full HD. Go to image size, I will choose an HD 1080, and also I need to select my area light. So I will increase my samples because I will open my Arnold render view again. So see here, it will little bit darkness. So when we increase full HD, so I will increase my exposure to 15 or 12 is enough, or 14. So 14 is enough. Now I need to reduce my shadow noise, so I will give samples to 5. So now I render my final file over here. Before that I will go my render settings. Here I need to increase my camera AA samples to 4 and diffuse samples to 4 and glossy samples to 4, but it will cause huge render time. So I will pause my video and come back again. Okay, it's render completed. After we increase our camera AA samples and also diffuse and glossy samples, our noise will be highly reduced. It looks great. We also able to see our transparency on our shadows. So this is the way to create transparency map in Photoshop and use in Maya 2017 and Arnold. Now I preview my final file over here. I hope you like it. I see you on next project. Click subscribe button to subscribe my YouTube channel for more Maya 2017 tutorials. Click here to also watch the tutorial of how to create caustic effect in Maya 2017 using Arnold render engine.